Hi Atari friends, in this video I would like to demonstrate for you the SYSCHEK 2.2 hardware. This device will allow you to troubleshoot and find problems in a faulty Atari computer. This device I bought from Jürgen van Radeke from Germany. It is also available at the German Abuk store. The device plugs to the Atari XL computer PBI port. So if you have an Atari XL computer, 800 XL or 600 XL computer, you simply plug it to the PBI port on the back of the computer. Let me show you the PBI port. That's right here. And if you have an Atari XE computer, 65XE with the ECI port or 130XE, you simply plug this one that way, that it goes to the ECI and cartridge port that's on the back of the XE machines. The device has some switches. The blue ones over here is to select various of operating system that are embedded on the SysCheck hardware. By default, the device will act as a system check, or you can switch this deep switch here and you can have multiple operating system for your Atari computer. The other switches here allow you to enable or disable the device, or to use it also as a memory extension. So this device will also allow you to get extra half a meg memory for the Atari computer. There is also a blue wire here that is supposed to get 5 volt to the board. On the Atari XL computer, the 800 XL machine, there is no 5 volt on the back of the ECI port, so we have to connect this wire to pin 7 of the joystick port. Pin 7 of the joystick port, that's the second pin down to the left, and that will give us 5 volt for the hardware to operate. As I said, this device will allow you to find a failure in the Atari computer without even the need to open the machine. Simply plug it to the computer and it will start to analyze the ROMs and the RAM of the computer itself. So let's see how it works. First, let's plug the device on the back of the Atari computer. Let's also connect the 5 volt, the missing 5 volt on the ECI port. That's connected to pin 7, that's the second pin down to the left here. So we get also 5 volts. And let's see where it goes. That's right. And let's connect the monitor. So now we have the Atari 800 XL computer connected to the SysCheck, and let's switch on the screen and turn on the computer. If you got into this stage, that means that the SysCheck will automatically test the memory, test the RAM chips, and later it will test the operating system. But if you get into that screen, that means, let me just open the computer here carefully. That means that the GTIA, the Antic, and the processors are operating fine. So if you have a problem with one of those 3 custom chips over here, you would not see this screen. This screen means that those operating fine. Even if there is a problem in the PIA or the POKI or on the operating system, the SysCheck will still operate, will still work. So the first test shows that the memory is good. This is a good working computer. The RAM is good. The colorful screen that you saw earlier is where the SysCheck is checking the 16K RAM behind the operating system. So in order to do that, it's simply just switching off the screen, checking the RAM, 16K RAM behind the operating system, and when it's done, it tells you that the memory is good, no problem was found. If I push the start key, it will now test the operating system, and it says that the ROM checksum is okay, and basically tells that the system complete the tests. So if I would unplug the SysCheck and still the system will not boot, it means that either the BASIC, the ROM, the operating system, either the POKey or the PIA is faulty, and one of these needs to be replaced. Let's do a quick test. Let's switch off the computer and let's pull up very carefully one of the RAM chips. Let's pull up U10. That's the first RAM chip to the bottom, and I'm going to switch on the machine. Immediately it detects that that was U13. The first chip to the bottom here on the row is U13. SysCheck automatically detects a memory failure, and it shows me that U13 or U10, because they are on the same address, the same bus, is faulty, and one of those chip needs to be replaced. So on an 800 XL, that's U13 needs to be replaced. If this was an 800 XLF, that's U13. The XE is U13, and sorry, that's the XE. XE line tells me that U10 needs to replace there. So it immediately detects here that U13 is faulty. Let's switch off the machine, push back U13, and let's try to pull up U16 here. Switch on the computer. Again, memory failure, and it detected that the DRAM U16, that's a 800 XL over here, is faulty, and that needs to be replaced. So very easily, if I had problems with the DRAMs, with the operating system, with BASIC, the SysCheck will allow me to detect that and fix that problem. It's a very handy tool where you need to troubleshoot and repair computers. Let's see a few more features that the SysCheck can do, and to do that I'm going to flip one of the dip switches on the back of the SysCheck. That's dip switch number 2. And when I switch on the computer, it immediately boots to QMEG operating system. This is operating system that was developed in Germany in 1997 by Stefan Dorndorf. I probably will need to do a complete new video about this operating system. It replaces the operating system, the original operating system of the Atari XL computer. It gives you many features like fast SIO speed, memory editor, where you can diagnose or disassemble memory locations. It can also allow you to do more features here, like freeze the RAM and save the freezed memory into a floppy where you can boot a snapshot of the memory later, and many more features QMEG can do. So basically, by changing a dip switch on the back of the SysCheck, I can operate my Atari with an alternative operating system, which is the QMEG OS. There is another operating system here that just do a fast SIO. So if I have a happy drive or any upgraded disk drive, I can just read files pretty much very fast. Another thing I can do with the SysCheck is I could disable the hardware, the operating system, and just leave the extra memory. So now the SysCheck will operate it just as a memory extension, 0.5 meg, 512K memory expansion to the Atari computer. I'm going to use this side cartridge just to load a memory test tool out of the menu here. No, it hasn't boot yet. Let's check the dip switches. Let's see that I switch it to the right position here. Yeah, now I did it correctly. So I disable SysCheck, and now I'm just using this hardware as a memory extension. Let's go to the utilities menu, and I have here a memory test tool, and it detected a 0.5 meg, 576 kilobyte of extra memory, which will allow me to load software, RAM disk, or any software that requires extra memory without having to add any hardware inside the Atari computer if I need to, just to get extra RAM. That's basically it. This is just the main features of the SysCheck hardware that allow me to diagnose and find problems on the Atari computer XL or XE. It does not work with the XE game system or the 1200 XL, but with the 800 XL, 130 XE, 600 XL with 64K minimum, 800 XE as well. Hope I haven't forgot any other model that this hardware can work with. That's all for now, and until next time, keep enjoying and play with your Atari. The computer, let me show you the PBI port. That's right here. And if you have an Atari XE computer, 65 XE with the ECI port or 130 XE, you simply plug this one that way. That is from Germany. It is also available at the German ABUK store. The device plugs to the Atari XL computer PBI port. So if you have an Atari XL computer, 800 XL or 600 XL computer, you simply plug it to the PBI port on the back of the goes to the ECI and cartridge port. It's on the back of the XE machines. The device has some switches. The blue ones over here is to select various of operating system that are embedded on the SysCheck hardware. By default, the device will act as a system check, or you can... Hi Atari friends, in this video I would like to demonstrate for you the SysCheck 2.2 hardware. This device will allow you to troubleshoot and find problems in a faulty Atari computer. This device I bought from Jürgen van Rijn. Switch this dip switch here, and you can have multiple operating systems for your Atari computer. The other switches here allow you to enable or disable the device, or to use it also as a memory extension. So this device will also allow you to get extra 0.5 meg memory for the Atari computer. There is also a blue one